Welcome and thank you so much for joining us on this. And we will, in this time, we're going to go through some of the new and exciting new features that have been updated into the new iVend setup for iVend 6.4 update, 6.5 update 4. All right. Okay, we're just beginning now and logging in. Now, before we go and we just dive straight into this, some of the things that I do want to just point out that we have over here include our management console document printing, our self-banking at the point of sale, our new iVend SAP Business One integration extensibility, which I will not be going through today because my one is in standalone mode. After that, we're also going to be having a look at our different we're also going to be having a look at some of the enhancements to Management Console, such as customer record searching using the email address attached to the customer, negative inventory setting per warehouse, as well as also some of the other bits and pieces and features. If in doubt, ladies and gentlemen, please note that we have gone and released we have got our standard release over here of the show screen. We do actually have our standard release notes update that is out and has been released to everyone. So this will be available for everyone to go and have a look through and just get a deeper understanding of exactly how and what different features that we have gone and updated in here. So without further ado, let's go and dive into this. And give me a second and we can go and just get started. Okay. All right, so let's go and just get a start on looking at some of the new updated features. Management Console document printing. Now, this goes and appears over here in your new Management Console. You can actually go and bring it up and have a look at your different printing formats that are associated in here. This is also down here with things like your receipt print formats. You can go and get into it and actually see what is actually being printed at which point in the entire system, similarly to this one over here. Now, this over here is something that we can go and get, that you can set up. For the moment, however, please realize that unlike the receipt printing, it is not something that it is only set up for your Management Console. It is not set up for your actual it's not set up for your point of sale. That is going to be an iVend 6.55 where you can go and actually set up your individual receipt printing over there. Okay. All right. Moving swiftly on. And guys, I just want to go point out that if you do have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. I don't mind being interrupted. This is something that I do just want to go and actually say. I don't mind being interrupted. If you do have any questions, just put up your hand or write the question out or do whatever, or however it is, and I will try and go and get through and have you listen to it as soon as possible. All right. Okay, moving on swiftly, some of the next enhancements I just want to go point out are the customer records search in the actual POS itself, in the actual Management Console itself. This includes things like if you wanted to go and search for the email addresses and email IDs, this is now included in, and this is something that you can go and set up and actually have it go and search for your email IDs. So I'm going to go just with Keith. Go F1 and you'll see it goes and brings up our favorite over here of Edward Robinson. Yeah, he's, as you can guess, this is also part of Demo Stack, and this is what exactly is going and fitting in over here for this. So now, this is also just part of the different instrumentation and different setups that we've now got included in here, that we can actually do this, and it does also go and enhance it does enhance this. We now also have our Management Console idles. Sorry, I am going to be jumping around a bit in this because we have done a lot of these enhancements, but they're all scattered all over the place. So just give me just in a second. Here we can go and open up, and in retail profile we can now actually go set up things like our our timeout settings over here for our different management consoles, as well as our point of sales. This means, and this allows you to actually go set up your actual timeout settings for your management console itself, which means that you can actually stop people from going and logging in. Well, you can stop people from going and leaving their systems logged in and not going and having anything really available to go and see for that. So, right, then moving swiftly on, because guys, I know we've had some, because of technical difficulties, this has taken a bit longer than we expected. But now one other thing I do actually want to point out that is actually quite nice is, that on our pricing and promotions, we've now set it up that if you are integrated through to an ERP, right, you can actually disable the price list integration back into the ERP, which means that you can actually go and just run your price lists in here. It does mean that if you do update the price list in the ERP, that they will go and come through and update into here. Now the problem so it will overwrite what's in here, but if you just run your price list in iVend itself, it will actually go and run your price lists in here, and you can actually just run them over here without actually even going near the ERP, which in turn just goes and saves you that time, and also means that you've got one solitary point to go and actually have a look at and go and get these things in and set up and running. All right, so moving swiftly on. The other thing that we have done now is that, and once again this falls more into the background of things, is this is one of the things that we have now in the background, is that if you do go and end up deleting a store, and I know that we have had this issue before, is you end up deleting a store with an associated warehouse, and you didn't take the warehouse away from it. So what that means now is that you now have a deleted store that still has an attached warehouse to it, and then that means that you can't get your licensing sorted out, and it normally ends up with a support call. In this case, what we have actually done is we've put a bit of enhancement in the background that if you go and you delete the warehouse, if you delete the store now, it will delete the warehouse as well. So you will be freed up for it, right? That also means that we don't have to go and worry about having those things stuck in the background like we normally used to. Guys, is everyone there? I mean, can I get some hands, or can everyone see my screen? Okay, I do see. Okay, all right. Questions? Let's just have a look. Okay, I'm not seeing any questions. Guys, can I just get some hands to go see who is actually, can people actually see what's going on here? Okay, Deep, I see you. Who else? Guys, anyone else? Can I please get some hands? Okay, all right. Well, there we go. And Fernando. Okay, all right. Thanks, thanks, guys. At least I know that you can see my screen. I'm not just speaking to a dead mic. Okay, all right. So moving on, let's go and let's just move on to some of the next things that we're looking at. Okay, all right. So like I was saying, you've got your stores over here that you can then go, and that now if you delete them, you're at least not stuck with a warehouse that is not working. Okay, all right. Then some of the other bits and pieces. All right. So now we can also go and one of the next things up that we can do is we can now set our negative inventory per warehouse. So we go back across here to our warehouse, and over here in the actual warehouse itself, we can go and once you've activated it, you can go and then set your negative inventory per warehouse. This goes and means that you can actually stop people from, you can actually go say, well, maybe in certain warehouses we want to go into negative inventory, but in other warehouses we don't. This means that you'll be able to actually stop people going, and you'll be able to say on, say, the DCs, they won't be able to go into negative inventory, whereas on the whereas in the stores they might be able to go into negative inventory. It just clarifies things and gives you that extra bit of functionality and flexibility in iVend that you can actually go and take care of these things and get on with it and not have to worry about them. Now, for the for one of the other things that we have actually gone and one of the other things that we have actually gone and extended iVend with is actually going and allowing you to go and set a location per point of sale. You'll be able to go and enable this over here, and once you've done that, it effectively means that you give stock to a location, which means that, for instance, if you have a store selling electronics, you now have and they all need to go through a specific till point in that section, you can now actually manage the stock that is set per point of sale as opposed to having to go through every single little point of sale that goes and comes through there. It means that it gives you greater flexibility as well as better ideas about exactly how to go and control things in the actual point of sale, as well as better stock control as to where things are. It stops people from going and trying to go and bamboozle people by going and saying, oh, well, I bought this item from over the other side of the store and now it's over here, and now I want to try and get extra discount or whatever it is that they're trying to do. That means that it goes and it just keeps things clear in the actual system as to who's doing what. Okay, so some of the next and new handy stuff that we've got. This includes our bonus buys. And something I do want to point out in our bonus buys is that we now do have the ability to do to go and import data into our bonus buys. They are now part of the objects that are listed in here. They are down here, and you can actually, what this allows you to now do is to go and import in your, and I'm just going to head across to bonus buys to make sure we know exactly what we're talking about. You can now go and import in your actual header and your buy products and your get products, which means that you've just got that extra little bit of functionality to actually go and put that information into the system easier. Because this is something that we have had requested before, and particularly because when things are set to buy products or when things are set to get products, at the moment, the way for things like 6.53, our normal recommendation is rather go use things like your product groups or product categories to go and set up additional categories for those products. And now you can actually go and import in exactly the lines that you want for both the buy products and the get products, which means that in turn you can now just do a very basic setup of your bonus buy. And then go and complete the setup with the import in, and then manage. And it also it gives you the ability to go and manage your larger bonus buys, your buy products, your get products, far easier for this. Now, that is something that has really gone. It's something that a lot of you guys have requested, and it's something that we have gone and actually. You see, we do actually listen to you guys and give you, and actually we do get to play Santa Claus sometimes. Okay. Moving on. One other thing that we can do with our promotions and bonus buys is we can go and actually set them up for birthdays and anniversaries for the customer, and it's also applicable for loyalty customers. So now you can instead of having to do a bit more configuration so you get extra loyalty points on those days, you can now actually get your bonus buys on those days as well. Right. We can now, one of the new things that we can do is also the printing of the gift cards and gift certificates in the system itself. So this is something over here. Right. With gift cards and gift certificates, you can now go and actually have these printed directly from the system instead of going and having them directly come from from the actual printers itself. It does mean that you go and you actually print them through the actual, it actually comes through the label printer over here where you can go get them and set them up to be printed. Okay. All right, guys, any questions? Because otherwise I'm assuming that either everyone's asleep, even though it does say that you guys are paying attention, or that, yeah, there's no questions so far. So otherwise I'm just speaking to a dead mic. No questions. Hands raised. Hands raised. No. All, right. Okay. Everyone's there. Everyone's still working. Okay. Cool. All right. Then. Okay. Moving on. Now, some of the next things that I do want to point out, and this is once again things that, and you're going to find this a lot in 654, is that it's a general enhancement of 653. It's a lot of the little niggles and requests and bugs that we answered. So these are things that just go and expand exactly what people are doing, how people are doing it, and what exactly is going into the system. So, and in this case now, I'm going to just quickly, here we go, I'm just switching across to our wonderful favorite point of sale over here. Here we go. And this, I'm actually on the screen, and apparently I can't even go type the password, and that's actually quite important because this is something that we do find is that people do have issues typing in passwords. So now what we can actually do is you can log in with your employee card. So that is something that we've now gone and enabled. This means that you can actually log that. It also means that it's just easier for people to log in. They don't have to go and try and mess around, wait, no, I clicked the wrong button, I did this wrong. They can actually just go log in with their card. It makes it far simpler, and it just enables them to get in and out quicker. And apparently I still can't log in correctly over here. There we go. So you see, it's a vital feature, as we can all see over here, particularly if you can't spell. Okay. We can now go and other things that we have done over here. We can also go and force a update of the actual. And I'm just going to switch across to one of my favorite slides over here, because this is now once again some of the features and functions. We can, if the POS has been operating in offline mode. So, your usual thing, the LAN goes down or whatever it is. We can actually now force a sync at the end of day. When you're shutting down the POS, that it will try and sync through to the actual store itself. It's just to go double check that everything has actually been connected through. That means that you're not going to be left with any hanging transactions or anything sitting in the background that might be that might just be hanging on over there. So that just goes and that just means that it's, once again, you've got these things better under control and running far better than normal. All right, so moving swiftly on, right? We can also, now one other thing that we have done, and I am going to go and start jumping around again. Let's head back to Management Console. Yay, because this over here is where we have done our receipt, is in our receipt print formats. We now have a new receipt print format that your suspended sale or suspended transaction can now be customized. That particular one. Before, it just fell under your transaction receipt format. Now we can actually go and have that we can actually have that come out as a separate format, which actually means that you can go and have it suspended, sorted out as, and you can actually make sure it says very clearly suspended format, so people don't get, once again, confused and try and pull off anything funny. All right. Okay, so moving on next. Okay. There are also, guys. There are also a batch of new other integrations and setups. I do want to, and I am getting more towards the end of it. I know that we have gone and we have had some issues here, but just some of the highlights that I do want to point out is the actual POS. There are some new events available in POS Designer. So these are now things like the customer payment type event with so custom payment type. So if you actually have a look over here in my point of sale, I've actually gone and got a quick complete button, but my one's quick complete for credit card. So what you can now do over here in your actual point of sale customization is, if you drill all the way down through your layouts into your actual POS Designer, right there, you can then start to go and edit your edit the different ones over here, and one of them you can actually go edit is exactly, you can go set this now to a custom payment type layout over here, which will go and make it far easier. So you can actually go and now with the custom layouts, this means that you can start to go put in things like dedicated different currencies. So for instance, if you've got if you are working in a region where you might have, say, 5 different or 3 or 4 different currencies, you can now go say, okay, hang on, wait a minute, now we can go and actually say, okay, we can have one set for one currency, one set for another currency, one set for a different currency, including things like your loyalty payment types. So that is something that just goes and enhances exactly what you do in the system itself. Okay. Oh, yeah, and yes, I'm just going to cancel out of it because I've got this up and running just how I want it. So after that, we then go across to, we also have new things like till close and finalize event. So you can actually define a button for that, as well as you can also set it up to go and find an item in a transaction. So this is this actually allows you to go and do your actual searching in the actual transaction itself. So if you've got a 100-line transaction, just to go show you, we come along transaction search or scan in your transaction, open up there, Control F, and then you can actually start to go and search for items in your actual transaction itself. That means that you can actually start to go look for things, particularly if you have a particularly long transaction. I know this is maybe not the best transaction to be demoing this on, but if I had a 100-item transaction, I can then go and actually set this up and use this to go search within the transaction itself, which makes it far easier for me to actually see what's going on and how exactly I'm putting things through. It also means that if, for instance, somebody goes and says, hey, item number 27 or whatever, hey, it's this item right at the end that got double scanned, they're not having to go scroll up and down to go find out exactly where things are. Okay. Right, so moving swiftly on, right, I'm just going to cancel out of this. Some of the other bits and pieces that we do have that are highlighted. This one is slightly more difficult for me to show you. It's the we now support 2 barcode scanners. Yes, not one, but 2 barcode scanners at the till. So this means that you can have both a wireless scanner and a tabletop scanner attached to the same point of sale. We do find this does happen in some of these hypermarkets, where if you've got somebody who's buying a flat screen, he might be buying a flat screen TV on the one hand on the trolley, which is difficult to move. On the other hand, he might be buying 6 packs of Coke at the same place at the same time, which means that you can now have your handheld scanner to scan the flat screen, but you can actually have your... I see I have questions. Questions! Yes, we always welcome questions. All right, want to go back to the custom layout buttons. Okay, I'm going to go back there in a second, Junie. All right, and were there any hands raised? I just want to check. Yeah, okay, right there. Okay, I got you. All right, so let's go and let's have a look at this. Okay, so max buttons you can create. That's more, Junie, first off, okay, first off, let me just go back. We're over here. Just go Positive Designer. The way it, we haven't so much changed the way the button panels work. So they still work the same way as they did in 6.5, 6.53. You can still go and create, you can still create lots of buttons, but the button panels themselves are limited. You're limited to 5 of them. So you might have many buttons that go and associate with it, but yeah, you can only have those 5 panels, and how exactly you put them together. Let me actually go to a better one. Sorry, I've just got my question screen over here. Let me go to a better one that's got slightly more button panels that we can go play with and just see what the story is. But you'll see it goes and says, oh, before I even dive into what this looks like, yes, I do want to cancel, is, all right, so we've got, so the buttons over here, you're limited to 5 button panels, right? But then as many buttons as you want underneath. Now, okay, all right, the questions are coming thick and fast, which is good. Okay, so, all right, can we hide some buttons and not just disable them? For the moment, that just, why, okay, first off, if you're hiding the button panels, why? If you're hiding the buttons, why? And second off, it really depends on, we'd normally go and look at something like Extensibility to do that. Now, off the top of my head, I don't quite know the situation you're going with on there, is if you are going to hide button panels, if you are going to hide buttons, sorry, not button panels, buttons, then you might want to look at Extensibility for that, because to me that might make a bit more sense. Part of the reason being, there you can actually control you can control who's doing what, where, when, and how. Otherwise, I would say rather maybe go and look at assigning. Remember these. You might want to go and just have slightly different layouts for different people. So that would be the easy way to do it, really, is that if you've got one set of cashiers who can see a certain set of buttons and a different set of cashiers who see another set of buttons, well, then you just have 2 retail profiles and 2 button panel, two retail layouts associated to either of those. That's going to be your easy way to actually manage it. But on the other hand, if you want something more complex, if you want some logic to it, then we're resorting to Extensibility really to do that. Does that answer your question? Okay, right, that's good news, that's good news, that's good news. Okay, all right, so I'm just going to go dock that back. All right, so let me just go and quickly, swiftly moving on. Okay, we now actually go and, okay, and now guys, I'm sorry, I'm not actually going to really run you through too many of these things, because some of these things like are, for instance, are the iVend APIs. So this is things like we've now got stock transfer requests for stores that can be posted on iVend. Goods receipts against stock transfer can be posted on iVend. Additional information, caption and payments is now available through the APIs. Location information is now available in transaction APIs, and transaction items comments can now be retrieved using the APIs. So this is something else that we have over here. And that's also something that we can go and get up, ready, and running. That you can go and show over there. All right. Next up is okay. Something for iVend loyalty. The passes can now actually be sent to specific customers. The customer portal, all customer transactions are viewable in the customer portal. The transaction receipt can also be reviewed in the customer portal. Something that we have done is in case of a bad scan on the iVend handheld terminal, it will now actually give a beep to the user to go say it was not able to resolve the barcode instead of just a message. It is actually going to go say that there's a problem over there. And apart from, and as well with the iVend handheld, we've also enhanced it a bit, that you can now go and, that users can now log in by scanning a barcode which contains the ID of the user. Finally, there are also some things for iVend Extensibility. So iVend Extensibility, user-defined field support is, UDF support is now extended to stock transfer location and merchandise hierarchy. But once again, I can't really go into that, guys. If you want to see more about that, please go have a look at the iVend Extensibility guide, as well as we've also gone and extended some of the localizations for the iVend Business One integration to include places like Turkey. All right, now that was the brief whirlwind tour of what's new in iVend. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I must apologize for going and for the delays on my side. I'm sorry, we did seem to have some issues with GoToMeeting. And we're not sure why. I'm actually going to try and see what the story is afterwards. But at this particular point, I would like to go and open the floor for everyone who is still awake and available and interested to go and ask those deeply burning questions about what exactly is going on. And if there are any other anything else that they want to bring up with the system, can you, if you do want to, raise your hands, type your questions, please let me know, and I will try and answer them as best I can. The floor is open. And if you do want, I can unmute your microphone as well. Okay, right. New questions. Yes, Junie. Let me just go and I'm just going to unmute you. All right. Hello. Can you hear me? You're on.
Yes. Yes. Hi, Kit.
Hi.
I just want to ask a question about the layouts. Are the layouts downloadable, or it's just and how many can be stored or create or set up?
Okay, all right. Well, the layouts over here, the good news is, and I'm just going to go cancel out of this, is that you can actually export them. So you can export and import them. That is available right now straight off the bat. So that is something that you just want to go and have a look at and see how exactly you do it. And you can then go and adjust it. And you can. So what's nice is that you can export them from a test system. You can then use, so for instance, if you go and you set it up in, say, your demo stack, you can then just export it and then import it into your live system. Obviously, you will need to be careful of things like if you have it linked to UDFs or any custom functionality. But for the main part, it will just import straight in. You don't need to worry about any. You don't need to worry about any major changes. Okay. All right. Does that answer it?
How about in the site, in Syntaxis site, do you have a page for downloads of layout, like a user-created layout that they uploaded in your site, then other people can use it to use as their layout?
Okay, right there, I see. On the knowledge portal, at the moment we don't actually really have something like that, to be very honest. That is something that if you do want to load it up onto the forums, to be very honest, I think that the forums is going to be a better place for you to actually go and have a look at, to go and actually raise that question. Then people will be, then I'm sure that you'll be able to go get some more people to go and actually share their different layouts and what's going on there. All right.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. All right. Who else is out there that has a question, that is interested? Okay. Well, I know at least one person went and listened to this. Right, guys. Oh, hang on, wait. Mariel, let's go have a look. No, where'd you disappear to? Or does, okay, that seems to have disappeared. Does anyone else have questions? Hello, guys. Does anyone else have questions? Okay, if I don't get any questions, Deep, here we go. Deep, I'm unmuting you. Yes, Deep.
Hello. Hi, Keith.
Hi, Deep. Yes.
Hello. Yes, Keith. How are you doing?
Not bad, not bad. Yes. Yeah, no,
Keith,
yeah.
yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Yeah, Keith, my question was regarding printing into multiple locations within the same store, meaning into two different printers. Can you print a transaction into two different printers?
Unfortunately, not at. Okay, now Deep, I know exactly what you're talking about over there, and you're talking about if you're using multiple A4 printers. In this version of iVend, that hasn't. You're talking about printing from the point of sale. In 6.45, that hasn't
Yes.
changed. Right, the actual. If I have a look over, if we do go into the receipt print formats and the transaction receipts, actually, sorry, I should actually be heading into the print profiles. For the moment, the print profiles have not actually gone and changed. That's display profiles. And I'm just going to go and,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I seem to have, there we go. It's always that moment when you're looking for it, you can't find it. The way we are going and doing it has not changed. I know exactly what you're speaking about, Deep, because yes, though. What you're looking at is going to be 6.55. That I've been told is, and that is a specific question. We have raised it with the developer. It's just for the moment we're handling the printing of things through the management console, as opposed to handling them through the as opposed to going and handling them over here through the actual setups of in through the front end. It's just management console it works for. It's not point of sale. Point of sale is coming.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Questions, everyone. Thank you so much, Deep. Okay. All right. Junie. Okay. Just unmuting. Yes. You have.
Hi, Kid.
Hi.
We have a client where they set up their system as a mixed mode, where POS and also it has a MC, and two document printers are installed in that system, and to our workaround to print a document is to choose a printer. Can we assign a different printer for different, for example, we used a crystal report for the transaction receipt, and it's set as a document. Example, it was set to A4, but it also have another printer that is connected that is also using the format for A4. Can we assign transaction receipt to be only printed for the other printer and other documents to the other printer?
If I understand you correctly, Junie, it seems to be that you're going and as this is through the point of sale.
Yes.
No, sorry, not for the moment. Once again, 6.55. We will be resolving things like that. You're not the only one who has the question. Deep as well had the same thing. All right.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no further questions, all right, then I'm actually going to go and end the session. Thank you so much for bearing with us in with these technical difficulties. We're going to see what the story is with them now. And but anyway, I hope that you enjoyed. Please, Fernando, you have a question. Hello, Fernando. Hello, Fernando. You had your hand raised. I've unmuted your mic. Can you please speak? Hello, Fernando. Hello, Fernando. Here we go. Okay, right. Okay, all right, there, I see you've written your question up over here. If self-banking is enabled in iVend and we then plan to integrate it to our SAP, which banking will be followed? SAP or iVend, or will they merge? How does it affect the integrity of the report? The self-banking that we're talking about over here is at the end of the actual is at the end of their run when they actually do their cash up. That's not so much the banking that you'd be looking at in your SAP. So they don't really merge in any way. They're not the same process, as it were. They're two separate ones. Okay. I hope that answers your question. All right. Okay. Any other questions? Okay, all right. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to go and then end this now. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us on the CKP through the forums, or contact me, and I will try and answer your questions as best I can. All right. Thank you so much. Oh, Junie, do you have another question? Hello, Junie.
Yes. Yes, regarding the stores,
Yes.
I want to ask, do you have in the current version, does it incorporate disable enable button for inactive stores or active stores?
No, we wouldn't so much go and enable or disable stores. That's more where the deleting functionality for the stores is. Because at the moment you can actually just go and delete the store, and then be able to go delete the old store and then reassign it to reassign that license. So that's also something that would that's more the way that we've done it there. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right. I think that more or less wraps it up. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. And we will see you soon. Keep well. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.